Yo, what's good? We back at it. It's your boy Sitter. The skills will prevail. We had to do the last sign in terms of the ascendant signs and balancing out your polarities in each house. Right, we on the Pisces Ascendant. Make sure that you subscribe before we actually start the video. Make sure that you like, you comment below your thoughts. You know, I take all feedback, so you know it is what it is. Yeah, we're following through again on the Pisces Ascendant sign, right? Like I've said before, we're using whole sign systems, so each sign will belong to only one house, basically, that it will be assigned to. I'm doing this so that it can reach more people on a broader level, basically. You know what I mean? So even if you use other systems, this video should still resonate with you as well. You know what I mean? So don't worry about that. We'll start off, right? We got Pisces on the first house, Aries on the second house, and it's following through in a zodiacal order. Then you got Taurus on the third house, Gemini on the fourth, Cancer on the fifth, Leo on the sixth, Virgo on the seventh, Libra on the eighth, Scorpio on the ninth, Sag on the 10th, Capricorn on the 11th house, and Aquarius on the 12th house. So we'll start with your Pisces Ascendant, right? The first whole sign house is in Pisces, right? And what this means. Now, first house I like to say is how you act. Some will say that it's your personality, but I like to say it's how you act. It's the physical appearance, how you view the world as well. Whenever you have Pisces coming into the first house, you guys are the type that has more of a mystical allure to you. What I like to say is that when we think of Pisces, it's ruled by Neptune, and Neptune rules over Hollywood and the music industry. It represents kind of like a smoking mirror type of energy, as Hollywood kind of represents illusions, fantasies, basically. So when you have this type of energy, it's ruled by Neptune, right? And Neptune can represent confusion, illusions, deceit. So it can show forth for, you know, even like cloudiness, a certain cloudiness to like your sense of yourself, basically, and who you are. That's kind of one of the things that I've seen with Pisces on the first house. Now, Pisces is a mutable water sign, very adaptable. Very much is compassionate. It will make you compassionate and want to merge with others, and very sacrificial, very giving, right? So you want to make sure that if you're doing this, you're not appealing to what others want you to be in terms of adapting, because again, this is an adaptive type of energy, as it's a mutable sign. So you want to make sure that you're not molding to what others want you to be and putting up fantasies and illusions, basically, to appease others. How you view the world is basically a spiritual point of view whenever you have Pisces on the first house. And a lot of times from what I've seen is Pisces Ascendants have a kind of like a dreamy look to you guys. Being that you guys come off very sacrificial and giving, right? You have to kind of self-improve, which is Virgo, and work on how you relate to others, because 7th house is your relationships, right? You want to make sure that you're not overly giving and sacrificing yourself to your own detriment, basically, right? But of course, you know, the world does need you guys, you know, when you have this energy here. Now, you guys have Aries on the second house, right? So we're going to talk about Aries on the second house versus Libra on the 8th house. The second house is your finances, your resources, possessions, assets, your values. 8th house represents shared resources and intimacy. It represents some other things, but I'll just leave it at that. Whenever you have Aries here, it can show forth for you taking a independent approach to how you make money, and you actually need to be kind of independent, or being like the own head of how you make your own money, because Aries represents the head, and it's coming into the area that represents finances. So you need to take an independent approach, right? So it's just saying that when it comes to shared resources, with Libra here, you need to be more fair. Libra is a sign of fairness and justice. You need to be fair in terms of sharing your resources as well too. And also, you do value independence when you got Aries on that second house, right? Now, if you're being overly fair, right, with how you share your resources, then get back to being a bit selfish with the things you value and with your own possessions and resources. That's how you balance out that energy, right? Taurus on the third, coming into the house of thinking, communication, and siblings, versus Scorpio on the 9th. Right, so this represents your beliefs, philosophical outlook, higher education, traveling. It represents your father as well too. But you know, with Taurus on the third house, Taurus is a very comfortable type of energy. Taurus could be a bit stubborn, right? Slow to move. So it can show for slower thought process. And when I say slow, I don't mean stupid slow. I mean like it just can represent, you know, you taking a slower methodical approach to even learning and just, you know, your thought process basically. You think about security and finances, as this is what Taurus represents. You're thinking about getting to that money basically, right? But you could be a bit stubborn in your, you know, in your mindset, right? As this is what Taurus here represents. So it's just saying that you need to basically kind of transform and evolve with your Scorpio and your beliefs basically. And the things that you believe in, because you have a stubborn mindset, you know. Also, you be the type too to where it comes to the things that you believe in, your spirituality or religion or philosophy, you could be a bit secretive when you have Scorpio here, right? You could be private and secretive about these things, right? So that's kind of how I seen the energy basically play out. The ninth house represents your father as well too, so it could have been some power struggles in this area too. You could have been the type that was kind of like manipulative or vindictive. You know, as well too, it just had like a secret kind of demeanor to him, and this could be why you're kind of like private with your beliefs as well too. Right, so just make sure that you're kind of like, again, evolving in your spirituality. Now, Gemini on the 4th versus Sagittarius on the 10th house. Gemini represents the twins. Now the 4th house represents the home and the mother. Also your upbringing. So when you have Gemini on the 4th, it can show forth for you coming up in 2 different homes. It can show forth for a lot of communication going on within the home and in your upbringing. But Gemini is kind of like a fickle type of energy, so it's not the deepest communication. But definitely communication can be prevalent. Now if your Mercury, which rules over Gemini, is kind of like has more hard aspects, which are more red lines to it, it can show for kind of like gossip in the home with family. But if it's, you know, soft aspects to it, which are like more blue lines, sextiles and trines, this could be just for like learning within the home as well too. But you definitely, I would think, like to learn in the home with Gemini on the 4th. And this is why 10th house in your career, you got Sagittarius here. Sagittarius represents kind of like, it's a teaching type of energy. Very wise, very philosophical. So you could be teaching because in your home, you're doing a lot of learning and you're very curious basically, right? Your mother too, she would have also embodied that energy of Gemini, to where she's very witty. Could be an intellect too, gossipy as well too, you know what I mean? So this is why this is kind of like prevalent in the home. You also want to expand and grow in your career as well too. If you're expanding and growing in your career and in your outer world, then make sure that you're still keeping contact and communicating, which is Gemini, with your family and home life. That's how you balance out the energies. You got Cancer on the 5th house versus Capricorn on the 11th house. Now, when you got Capricorn, I'll go to the 11th house. When you got Capricorn in the 11th house, 11th house is your friends, groups of people. You're the one who's responsible and reliable in this area. You could be kind of like mature and also attract elderly friends or more mature friends, right? So, you know, you're responsible and reliable for your friends. And the opposite of that, 5th house is your self-expression. I always say that I consider this house like your sun sign, because it's the house of Leo and the sun, basically. So I compare 5th house, whatever energy is going on here in terms of sign and planets here, with the sun sign. So you come off as a very nurturing type of individual, right? That's how you kind of self-express, like a Cancer, very protective, very family-orientated, very nurturing. And this is why you come off in your 11th house kind of like the responsible and reliable one in this area. Also, 5th house is your dating life, and when it comes to your children. So you could be very much like the mother. Cancer is the mother of the zodiac. You're very motherly in this area, even with people you date. You know what I mean? You may feel like you gotta baby them, basically. You know what I mean? So if you're just doing that, then it's just saying like, again, even 11th house is kind of like your goals and aspirations. So it's just saying that you need to be responsible and reliable in your goals and aspirations, which is Capricorn, and also with friends. This house is fun and pleasure, 5th house as well too, which I didn't state earlier. Fun and pleasure may be revolving around family in the home as well too. Just as an example, let's go to Leo on the 6th versus Aquarius on the 12th house. 6th house is your work, your daily routines. You got Leo here, right? Leo's the king. Everything revolves around the king, basically. So you want it to revolve around you. You want recognition. You want attention. You want it can show forth for maybe like getting into work that deals with children or the entertainment industry, tapping into creativity of any sort, poetry, painting, arts, writing, dancing. It can play out a lot of different ways. These are just a couple of different things. Even speculation of any sort, you know, can revolve around work. Cinematics, entertainment, I already said that, but yeah, you want to be seen in your work, right? But you know, it's interesting because you got Aquarius in your 12th house. So you also like to progress kind of like behind the scenes and like in isolation. So it's a thin line between balancing these areas out. You progressing in isolation behind the scenes and in private, with 6th house of being kind of like recognized in your work and amongst coworkers when you got Leo here, basically in your daily routines. What else I want to say? Let's go to your 12th house. 12th house again, Aquarius here. You're very unique and very it's a very unique side to you in terms of what you do in private, and also you know, you guys can be very much like, I said progressive, you know, but your subconscious mind has a certain level of genius about you. Now, Aquarius is a sign that represents your uniqueness, your quirky side, your weird side. So you guys suppress this at times because whatever's in this 12th house will be suppressed. You suppress this energy, and this is why your 1st house with the match you wear is Pisces. You come off as more adaptable, more mutable, more changeable, more wanting to kind of like fit in to appease others. So just make sure you're balancing this energy out, and you are bringing forth that healing energy. And also, last thing I want to state is that I don't know if I said this earlier, but if I didn't, Pisces in the 1st, you guys are very sensitive to the outside world. So this is why you may feel like, you know, you have to isolate at times, which Pisces deals with, to kind of like protect your energy, because you're very prone to soaking up energy. When we think of Pisces, Pisces rules over the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system kind of like soaks up toxins, right? So you guys could be prone to soaking up negative energy, which is toxins, you know what I mean? So this is why you may feel like you have to protect yourself. Make sure that you're isolating, spending time alone too when you got Pisces in the 1st, to recharge and replenish yourself as well too. Again, the world needs your caring and your nurturing side, because you guys do have a kind of like a spiritual outlook on life, but just balance that out with not giving so much of yourself too at times and being so sacrificial to the point where it comes to your detriment. This was the Pisces Ascendant. This is your boy Sid. We wrapping up the series. Stay tuned. We got more videos coming, and holla at your boy. I appreciate y'all. Thanks.